Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. This is going to be a general reading for Aries in October 2020. What is going on, Aries? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. Alright guys, welcome to October. Happy Halloween if you will be celebrating at the end of this month. Please be safe if you're going to any parties, if you're distributing candy, if you're receiving candy, whatever you're doing to mark the event. Just please continue to be safe and take care of yourselves and other people. And in general, that is my wish for everybody. Please continue to be safe, happy, healthy, and secure in all that you do. Continue to take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love, alright? Aries, let's just get into it, my friends. This is your monthly reading. I've shuffled off camera. That is your spread there. I'm going to shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy. But before we get to that, I want to point out to you that in the description box below, you will find the timestamp if you want to jump ahead. Also, you'll see the information that you need if you want to order a personal reading with me down there. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, the link to my Instagram is down there as well. EmpathicFire Tarot over there. Interpreting oracle cards every so often. I really need to get back into doing that more regularly, but if you want to show your support on that platform, feel free to hit me up over there, okay? Alright guys, let's get into it. I want to see the outcome for Aries in October 2020. Outcome for Aries in October 2020. Let me see, please. Gotta tell you, my biggest complaint with this deck is that it's like super chunky and sticky, despite everything I've done to kind of keep the cards loose and like not coming out in big stacks as I shuffle. Love the artwork, not a fan of the card stock, gotta say. Anyway, outcome for Aries. There we go, flip over. Wonderful, bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Interesting. Was I shuffling upside down? No. Alright. You got an upside down card as your overall energy. How'd that happen? No idea. Truly no idea. Alright guys, let's get into it. Please show me where Aries is in October 2020. Aries in October 2020. Please show me. All right, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Aries, coming into October, what was that? Or did I just hear that in my head? I don't know. Anyway, coming into October, you guys come in with the Three of Cups, eh? All right, so feeling a little celebratory. Like I said, some of you might be celebrating Halloween. Again, be careful if and well, whatever. But if you're wearing a bomb costume, I hope you get plenty of compliments, and you know, if you're if you're looking for it, maybe a free drink or two at the bar. Who knows? Anyway, but I do in general, without it being related to any festivities, I do feel, you know, Aries, you're seeking happier times. You're seeking more friendship in your life, more camaraderie, closeness with people that you know and love. Or if you're kind of, you know, not knowing many people around you right now who are in a celebratory mood, who are wanting to socialize, I think you're really like seeking this out. I think you're really seeking connectivity with other people. Either you know them already, or you're wanting to meet new faces and come into contact with new exciting people. Being that there are dolphins on this card, some of you are wanting to be like really sexual with a specific person or a group of people or a couple people, whatever. You know, no reading, no shame in anybody's game over here, and I support it so long as it's safe. You know what I mean? But dolphins are known to be social creatures. They are, you know, water mammals, I guess technically. But they are, you know, also not only social creatures, they're also sexual creatures. They're one of the other animals besides humans that, you know, copulate just for the sake of copulation, you know what I mean? So some of you are really wanting that in your life. You're wanting physical intimacy, emotional intimacy. Some of you just want to have a couple of drinks and just like kick back and have a good time. And this could be very reactionary due to, you know, any type of stress that you're going through in your life right now. But honestly, I think many of you are, you know, Aries is, I don't think you're known to be a sign that thrives on social engagement. I don't think it's like top 5 necessity for many of you, but perhaps again, reactionary to the circumstances at hand. A lot of you are coming into that mode where you need it. You need to be around people. You need to be celebratory, or you need to have fun. If you're not, again, it doesn't even have to be celebrating. It doesn't have to be drinks. It doesn't have to be sex. You just need to be doing something that's fun. So I'm sensing a lot of you are sending out invitations. You're receiving invitations to do things. And again, and you could be doing this even, with full safe practices in the middle of this pandemic. You could be doing all of this online. You could be doing this, virtually, or, what is that thing? Not Zoom, but there's and I don't know that people use it, so I'm just quoting it because I saw an ad for it, like Facebook Rooms or whatever the hell that is. I don't know what it is. But there's just this interest in connecting with other people or a specific person. Okay? Now, what else? Yes, because you're bored. You're so bored. They're right there. You are so bored. That's one of the quickest transitions I've ever done on my channel. 4 of Cups right above this. So what's been hanging around in your conscious mind, what's been really, pertinent or very obvious to you, is how bored you are, how uninspired you are. You're just so done. No shade to any pandas or fans of pandas. And I don't think that they are, or maybe they are. Are pandas lazy, or just kind of moping around? Not that they're sad, but well, again, I don't know much about bears or any type of bear, but I think aren't they just really relaxed, or really chill? Don't they just sit around and eat bamboo all day or something? I don't know. But it's sort of this, no offense to pandas or panda lovers again, but it feels like some of you have just been a lazy lump. You've been literally just sitting on your butt, not doing a damn thing, and that really bothers you. So maybe that's where this is coming from, because it's not even, like I said before, it's not that Aries seeks high levels of social engagement, but maybe because you've been so lazy lately, or you've been so uninspired, or you've been so just kind of blah about everything, so meh about everything, that you're seeking excitement. And if this isn't you, this is someone that you're dealing with, by the way. This is a general for all Aries, right? So it's still a general collective reading to a certain extent. And so this could be someone that you're close to, or someone that you're dealing with in friendship and partnership, just, a roommate of yours. Hey, Todd, what's going on? And Todd's just sitting in his room, chilling, eating a bunch of celery. Nothing. Okay. So I just get this sense of inactive. And again, it could be reactionary. Maybe, if you've been a good little panda for the past 7 months or 6 months or whatever it is, maybe you've been on your P's and Q's and you followed all the protocol, and you're just dying to get out. Literally, it's driving you crazy to have had this lockdown, this quarantine, this whole experience that's many of us have been grappling with for 2020. And no other issue aside, it's just the physiological, biological, emotional, mental needs of a human being is to have some type of stimulus in your life, right? To have something to do, people to talk to, something to be engaged in. And if you've been minding your business, minding your P's and Q's, going about your life normally, and that normal thing, that normal way of performing your life, or living your life, let's say, to quantify it, let's say pre-corona, life for you, Aries, was an 8. How busy you were, errands, social engagements, your job, any type of personal relationships that you had to deal with. Oh, I gotta go over to my mom's house today, and then I gotta stop by Tina's and drop this off. Whatever you were doing, and you were on an 8. If Corona came along and knocked you down to a 4, halved your productivity, halved your social outings, and the ways in which you interact with people, from an 8 to a 4, and I'm holding the 4 of Cups, and I totally forgot that I was, but you know what I mean? That's going to really, really take away a lot of that natural, kind of can-do attitude that Aries often has, that spark, that energetic thrust that a lot of Aries have. It's going to really take you out of your element. And this is where you've been, and you're not a fan of it. You're over that. So the 3 of Cups is I need to get out. I want to meet people. I want to hang out. I want to have a good time. I want to have things to be smiling and laughing about. And the Four of Cups is, the inspiration. The inspiration is this fucking sucks. So what else happens for Aries? Because those were like, yes, okay, whoa, that was very strong. Because the face of that animal just like jumped out at me. But I don't know that we're going there yet. So whatever. What else? My God, I can't even say it. What else? Thank you. Happens for Aries? Please show me. Okay. So it feels like Aries, some of you have had a really trying time with other people or a particular situation. And now that that is sort of hopefully wrapping up, your reaction. Okay, so, all right, they're reminding me. So I'm kind of like reading this quote unquote backwards. Even though I don't read linearly in most of my readings, I started here and on this side, and I feel we're going to go possibly straight across. Yes. They're letting me know. So I'm reading something that possibly has already transpired for you or is about to wrap up, is what that feels like. Okay, thank you. So, what else is happening, please? Yes. Yes, yes. All right, so, justice. Major Arcana for Libra could be dealing with a Libra, but you don't have to be. So something is needing to be set right in your life, or it is being set right at this time. You're getting results. You're getting, possibly in some of your cases, you're getting comeuppance. So be careful, or not even be careful, but just be aware. Not all of you in the case of something that needs to be, again, set right. Issues of fairness and equality. It's not always going to break in your favor. It's a general reading, so please take that into account. However, in general, I feel there may have been, oh my God, that's such a strong word, but they want me to say it. In some of your cases, there has been sort of like a figurative oh my God, I can't even say it now, blood bath, where you and other people or one particular person kind of were in very deep disagreement to the point of possibly legal situations, legalities, going to court, suing people, things like that. And that was kind of thematic for a few signs in September. Libra may have been one of them. I don't think you were, but if you want to go in, travel in the DeLorean and go look back over September, feel free, but you don't have to. But it may be like very cutthroat and, like I said, a bloodbath in the legal sense. Other cases, it might not be legal, but it still might be very hotly contested. I'm feeling in some of your cases, this is again, issue, not again, but I feel like this is like, maybe disagreements over cash, how cash is spent, where cash is going, like what are the priorities with money, right? And you may have had a say and someone else had a say, and there just wasn't a way to kind of come to any type of negotiation point over that. And so things may have gotten really nasty. It could have been fight over inheritance or some type of winnings. Like some of you might, I don't know, something about a fight over money in some of your cases, which is very strange because you don't have, well, you've got a pentacle there, but it's not, I don't feel there's like, it's very interesting that just money came through really strongly then. I don't feel that's for many of you, so maybe that's why. A lot of talking. Like a lot of talking. You've tried to talk someone into something, or they've tried to talk you into something, tried to talk and get people to understand a certain point of view, a certain vision or request. Interesting, a request. And it's just like, I keep seeing, those images of Justice and the blindfold over Lady Justice's eyes. That's what I'm like being like focused on, right? So there is just an impasse here. You don't see what they're saying, they don't see what you're saying, and there's just like this inability to kind of make it happen, right? So things may be deadlocked, negotiations might fall apart in terms of court, cases may be dismissed or, hung juries and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't feel actual win, heavy like win for many of you. It's like deadlocked. It's just like, okay, there we go. The situation is wrapping up, but it's not having like a solid black or white kind of result, right? The result is very gray. The result is very, like, you see how the two sides of the scale are actually balanced and they're even, right? It's kind of like that. Neither side kind of wins the day, but that's not for everybody. And again, or rather I should say, that's not for every, like, the whole justice blind, legally blind. Maybe there's something out there for some of you with a status of blindness, but it's not all in the justice system, right? This could be karmic justice. This could be the justice that exists on a cosmic, universal spiritual plane, right, between you and other people. And it just doesn't feel that you or they are super satisfied with the results. And who wants to go into any disagreement or any competition or anything and come out, I'm going in there so I can lose? Most people don't want to lose when they're in a sort of vying for something against another person, right? So I feel as though that's kind of the bigger disappointment, which again could be factoring back to that Four of Cups, is you don't get an actual solid win and you don't get a solid loss. You get a draw. Like, who wants a damn draw? Especially with someone who's or a sign as competitive as Aries. Aries is like super competitive, right? And so whether you're, quote unquote, right or wrong in the situation, I don't know. But I know Aries usually drives so hard for a W. And if you don't get the W, you kind of can throw a little bit of a hissy fit or get super bummed out and be in the Four of Cups for a while. Be a little salty for a little while. You know what I mean? And so that's what this feels like. It feels like where you were hoping that things would break your way, or even if they didn't break your way, some of you were like, even if I lose, I just want to be done with this situation. I want to be done with that person. I want to be done with this argument, whatever. Some of you were like willing to take the L, but you don't get an L. You get you get the D. But no, you get a draw. You know what I mean? So it feels like Aries, dissatisfied because possibly from where you stand, justice wasn't fairly implemented. It didn't really break your way, or it feels like it's not going to break your way. In some of your cases, it will literally be a W or an L, but in many of your cases, it's like, or let's say it this way, it's like, even if you get the W, you can kind of feel like you lost, right? Does that make sense? So there's something here where I think this feeling of imbalance, unfairness is actually going to permeate after official things have wrapped up, after, people stop arguing, after, as soon as the air goes off, after things calm down and there's like no more rustling, there's no more disagreement, there's still going to be this feeling of, well, that was a bunch of BS, that was for nothing, I came out the loser, even though maybe on pen and on paper you might come out the technical winner. Does that make sense? Because Four of Cups is like emotional dissatisfaction or just emotional apathy. Like, I don't really feel great about this, even though you might have reason to celebrate. Reason to celebrate, right? Interesting. So, what else happens for Aries? Please show me. Yeah. Okay. So some of you may have been in a tussle with a Leo. That's very specific that I said that, because and I'm still going to say it, it doesn't have to be a Leo, but Strength card. You were really in, some of you, a disagreement with someone who's very, 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 very feisty. And it doesn't have to be super serious. This could just be like, again, a misunderstanding amongst friends or family members. It doesn't have to be so heavy. But this person was no cakewalk, or they were no fall guy, or no easy target, something like that. This person, whether it be you or someone else, because again, this can be flipped, is just not a soft touch. Not somebody who is going to lie there and take it and, put up no argument, put up no fight. This person, whoever they are or were in your life, they're a fighter. And this is striking me as unfortunately, I guess, in a way. Well, I guess it's unfortunate for whoever goes up against this person. Because this infinity symbol that's above the lion's head is giving me like a no stopping, take no prisoners kind of energy. Like whoever you're dealing with or whatever the situation was between you, it may have felt endless. It may have felt as if this person never loses any sleep and they never run out of energy. They're always willing to, step up and comment, or step up and, make idle threats or whatever. Like this person is a fighter, whoever they are. Could be you, could be both people or both sides of the issue that I'm talking about. But there's an intensity here that doesn't end. It doesn't end. And that could be why things end up in a draw, because you might be trying to negotiate something with this person and they're not budging. And you come back with a different deal, you work out different numbers in the contract, you come out with a certain type of compromise, and they don't budge. They come to you, or you say, well, you tell me what the new terms are, and you turn it back on them. Okay, you're not satisfied with any of my solutions or any of my ideas. What are your ideas? And they say the same thing they've said since day one. They are not bending. And I'm laughing because I guess, again, I think I'm talking about something that has already happened or is about to wrap up. So I think, I'm a little chuckly in that moment, because it feels like, hindsight. Looking back on it, what else could you expect from this person? And again, it could be shared energy. You both might be incredibly stubborn. If this, not that they have to be a Leo, but again, this is Leo's major arcana, right? So what are some of the telltale signs of a Leo? Leo is fixed and they're fire. So there's a rigidity that many Leos possess. As a Leo, I'm going to admit it. There are certain things that a Leo sometimes doesn't back down off of. Now, what is to be said about an Aries? Similar, stubborn energy. You might be cardinal, which is the initiate energy. You're fire, so you're definitely just as passionate. But then you also have to think about what your animal is. You're a ram. And what do rams do? They ram their heads. They are throwing one of their most vulnerable parts of themselves towards whatever they're trying to defeat or conquer or defend themselves from. So there is a tug of war here between two powerhouses. Again, astrological sign beside your own aside, you're dealing with someone, because this person could be a Pisces for God's sakes, but they're behaving this way. And Pisces is not known to be stubborn. So that's why I threw them out there. But anyway, you could be dealing with somebody who is just as stubborn as you. Right? Maybe you're dealing with another Aries. That's why I'm kind of like able to see you on either side of this story, right? And there's just like this no backing down energy. And if that comes to court, or that comes to some sense of, getting a middleman or a mediator to kind of draw, well, who's correct here? Who has the rights to this? Like I said, maybe some of you are like fighting over money or property, right? Who has the rights to this? And the mediator, or the person in the middle, the judge, says, nobody. Case dismissed. Get out. Or it can't be determined based on your arguments, or it can't be determined based on all this evidence or these facts or these figures. There's no way to come to any type of actual resolution. So you need to walk away here. And I don't know about you. Well, I would hope you would know about yourselves, at least. Aries do not like to walk away from things. Especially when they think they're right, especially when they think they have like the edge on someone, or a reason to be deemed correct, or the winner, or to be affirmed and validated. And I feel like some of you, again, are having a hard time, because again, your most present moment is being in this bummed out energy, or rather to seek this pleasure after being bummed out. Thank you. So you're seeking more joyous, more happy times in your life after going through a very stuck and like loggerheads, like you and another person, or you and other people in general, have just not been on the same page. Yeah. And there's, okay, very interesting. So I think this is them, but I think you're also here too, because it's another feline. Maybe it's like a female lion, I'm not sure. Or maybe like a cougar. Aren't those like mountain lions, cougars, whatever. 7 of Wands. So here's that feistiness, here's that not backing down energy that I think you are a part of, in a very small sense at the least. If not, you're like 50-50 with the other side of this story, Aries. So 7 of Wands, not not afraid of a fight, not afraid to stand your ground and state your case and declare what will and will not happen, or what you want to happen and what you don't want to happen. There's just like this is like one of the strongest depictions of the Seven of Wands I've ever seen, because the Seven of Wands traditionally is understood to be a defensive posture. As other people come to you with their gripes, with their grievances, with their disagreements and whatnot, you kind of just have to bat them away and, kind of, because of that lion or this feline, whatever it is, cougar, let's say cougar, yeah, because of this cougar here, like how ferocious it looks, and the positions of the wands. There's 2 wands up there versus the 5 that are at the bottom, versus other depictions where it's usually one soul figure has 1 wand and there are 6 wands against the 1. You know what I mean? So it's like somebody came to fight. Like nobody came into the situation like a punk, and maybe that's the bigger point. Maybe someone in the situation was viewed that way, like, oh, this person's an easy touch. We're just gonna, take advantage of this person. And lo and behold, oh, no, you don't. I'm nobody's punk. I'm nobody's fool. You're not going to bowl me over. You're not going to get the better of me. You know what I mean? So there's a ferocity here that you were either up against or you shared a part in. Ah, that's an interesting shared a part in. Oh, okay. So if this was like friends, like you could be having a disagreement with a friend that you used to roll with, that used to be like kind of ride or die with you. Like you guys may have been a dynamic duo, so to speak. And now that there's bad blood against you, you kind of have to turn on each other. But before whatever's gone on recently in your life with this person, you guys were fighting on the same side, so to speak, right? I'm like, where's this storyline coming from? So you have this Spirit of Cups, aka the Page of Cups here. Major Arcana, or excuse me, not Major Arcana. It's not a Major Arcana at all. It's a water sign energy. Thank you. For Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you could be dealing with a water sign, but you don't have to be. This could be someone that you've known since you were a child. Page of Cups, or Spirit of Cups in this deck. So this could be a childhood friend. This could be a brother, a sister, an old neighbor, or, every time you come home, this is the person who's next door and you guys catch up with each other. But there's just like tender feelings here. So maybe that's also why in some of your cases where you might come out with a W on a person, you might actually win the battle, win the disagreement, win the case, whatever it is. But on the inside, you might feel really bummy about it or crummy about it, because you may feel as though you've lost a friend, you've lost someone who was really near and dear to you. And anyway, going back here, so the Page of Cups, or again, the Spirit of Cups in this deck, is gentle. And, maybe that's not a word that most would quickly describe Aries with, but when Aries loves and Aries cares and Aries has someone that they, bring into the fold of their life, they care about that person and they can be gentle. There are moments where Aries can be a little bit of a teddy bear, right? So that could be why you have struggled with this situation. If I'm honest, it feels like for many of you this has gone on for several months, even before 2020, and upwards to several years. For a few of you, it may have developed during Corona, during the 2020 pandemic, and if it didn't develop then, it just came to a head. Like maybe this has always kind of been like a whale, kind of like deep under the surface of the ocean. But what do whales do? They breach. Like this whale is coming up out of those waves. They breach, right? So something may have been dormant for a long time, and maybe you were able to stand it, or maybe the other person was able to stand it in 2019, 18, 17, 16, all the way back to childhood, like I said, because it's a page. Maybe this is, a long-standing issue between you and this person, or maybe there's always been that tension, but it never came to a full head. It never breached out from the depths, right? 2020 comes along, and all of a sudden it puts this huge microscope, huge magnifying glass on all of our lives, on all of our relationships, and maybe in this time, in this crazy time that we're all living in, things between you and another person have really turned a bit sour, or turned into quite a battle. And maybe because you guys have been friends for a while, in some of your cases, maybe you guys share similar attributes or personality traits. And again, going back here, like you were going toe to toe with somebody just as stubborn as you. Interesting. Not much else to say, because I don't, the Page of Cups, or again, the Spirit of Cups in this deck, sometimes can be, said to be an apologist, somebody who wants to make amends and all that kind of stuff. I think maybe if that was true, that was a while ago. I honestly, in this energy, because again, we kind of read it backwards. I don't normally read linearly, but it felt like I'm reading what happened before we get to this, trying to get out of the doldrums, trying to get out of being apathetic and kind of bored and get into more happier times. You could be remembering that. That's what this could be, because Three of Cups can talk to friendship. So you could be remembering the times when you and this person were actually on the same page and you were like best of friends, and now you're not. Something like that. But what was my point? What the hell was I saying? I lost myself. Oh, apologies. Right. So at some point, maybe you had in your head, or the other person had in their head, let's just bury this. Let's just let bygones be bygones and move on from this. Or maybe you had, for a minute, an inkling to go back and say, you know what, I think you and I are just in the middle of a misunderstanding, or let's not take this to court. Let's just settle this on our own. But whenever that moment was for you or them or whoever, I don't think it lasted very long. So I just want that to be contextualized. And it's not because you're an Aries, it's just because of everything that I'm feeling contextually. What I'm feeling is going back to this idea of whales breaching. Again, I don't know much about animals, but I know that I think whales don't hang around the surface of the water very long. Isn't whale watching a thing? It's you kind of have to guess when the whales are coming and hope that they come up and spurt the water out of their little holes and then go back down into the ocean, and maybe they'll jump up and then splash back down, and that's it. It's not like you can see whales all the time, you know what I mean? So it's a short window that this was possible, that the apology was offered and maybe considered and then rejected, or it was pondered in being offered but never actually was extended. I feel as though any attempt by the Spirit of Cups was totally rejected, possibly met with the Seven of Wands, highly defensive energy, or it was never presented to begin with. And I don't know who's right or wrong here, and what is correct and what's not, but that's what that feels like. Now, your outcome, Ace of Pentacles. Brand new beginnings in a financial way, very specifically for some of you, but more than anything in a physical way. Okay, so you're starting over, not with this person, but I think on your own in a lot of ways, or on your own path, or in your own right, or in your own time, because Pentacles can also refer to things that we value, and time is something that we value here in this plane. In this plane of existence here on Earth, right? So some of you in your own time are going to get to this new beginning. And I think for many of you, it has to do with your finances and or your living situation, your material surroundings, your physical surroundings. So this could be a disagreement between roommates, with people that you used to live with in your family, and you just move out, or they move out, or whatever it is. And there's just this new potential that is upcoming for you. And I think some of you aren't necessarily just ready to recognize that. I think Aries can kind of be like that sometimes. You can be quite pragmatic people. You can be, very not by the book, but sort of well, never put the cart before the horse. Something like that. I feel like in some of your cases, because of that Three of Cups, you might put the cart before the horse for a little bit. You might, in reaction to not getting necessarily the fair or just outcomes that you desired or you felt were correct, you might go off the ledge a little bit and just party a little too hard, or seek some type of, sexual therapy for those who are just trying to hook up or whatever to get over your woes, self-medicating, right? And I don't feel like it's to your detriment for most of you. In some of your cases, you might want to watch it. But for most of you, if you're out there just trying to drown your sorrows for a little bit, I don't really sense that's bad for you. However, be cautious at doing it too much, because you might sort of miss an opportunity, or dull an opportunity is what they're making me say. Dull an opportunity. If it's money, If you're having, okay, if like you are hit with like a loss of money, or you were trying to win like a case that was going to give you a settlement or some type of inheritance or something like that, and it doesn't come out in your favor, or whatever you're awarded isn't like the full, you know, package that you were asking for, or the full amount of money that you were asking for, it doesn't really make much sense to go out and like blow all your cash. You know what I mean? Like if you're seeking 50,000 for something and they give you 20, it's not a smart move to just take that 20 and blow it, is it? You know what I mean? So be careful if you are awarded something not to squander it. Yes, dull the opportunity or squander the opportunity. And that could apply for the other person if it's not you that comes out again as the person who's the winner, okay? So whoever comes out with the bread, with the dough, they got to watch it. But regardless of any type, or less specifically towards cash, again, I feel as though, Aries, you're just doing things as you tend to do in your own way, in your own time. And I think possibly, because we're still under this, you know, glorious pandemic, some of you that rerouting, that repositioning yourself and getting, you know, recalibrated and going back out and moving towards whatever you need to move towards is going to be slower than you might actually want or need in some of your cases, but that's the way it is. Because, you know, Corona. Right. Your overall energy, which is, again, is strange, because I shuffle in the upright, so any reversals are intentional by the universe. Nine of Wands in reverse. As the overall energy, absolutely. I think you're realizing you were fighting a battle that maybe wasn't worth winning, or wasn't necessarily in some of your, or wasn't possible to win. Thank you. Possible to win in some of your cases, because you eventually saw who your competitor was. You eventually saw who you were fighting. And again, for some of you, it's because this person was or is a personal contact of yours, a friend, a family member, whoever, right? And so there isn't really much of anything to fight for when you're fighting a friend. You know what I mean? So I think in some of your cases, like a handful of you may have thrown up the white flag. You know what I mean? Because you didn't want to take it that far, or it was already, you know, well past when either one of you needed to back off. And so what's the point of continually, again, like a ram would do, ramming my head constantly into the same obstacle? I'm going to eventually hurt myself. You know, that's the thing about a ram, I think, even though they can do that and it's, you know, part of their defenses, I don't think that they can do it forever. I don't think they can do it indefinitely. And what I told you, whoever your opponent was, they might have had all the intention to keep it up, but somebody here needed to walk away or let it go. And I think that person was you, Aries. Again, this is a, you know, a general reading, so it can go vice versa. It could be the other person who, you know, kind of gave it up and said, I can't take this anymore, and walked away. And Aries was the one, come on, I got 100 rounds left in me. Let's go. You know, so, but the point is, the overall for this is like, things got tiresome. Things got, you know, so consuming that somebody had to walk away. And, you know, again, I think I'm talking about something that has already transpired or is transpiring now. It's very like, you know, and this doesn't even have to be like of the last couple of months or years. This could be something, if you're like a little bit older, say in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, this could have been something that happened to you 20, 30 years ago. You know what I mean? So whatever we're talking about, you know, this is the message that came out. It was important for someone out there. So Aries, that is your reading for October. If you like this reading, please leave a like down below. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. That'd be great. Feel free to share the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. I will be back very soon, friends, to do your mid-October reading. If you need anything from me, again, it's in the description box. If you want to follow me on Instagram or see how to go about getting a personal reading with me, check it out in the description box, okay? I thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Bye.